First and foremost, welcome. This is our first ever coffee and conversation. This is an incredibly informal get-together. What the municipal staff is trying to do is really kind of get some connections out there with our residents, with our constituents. So on behalf of the municipal council, we have representation here from Mayor Jack Allen. There she is, Lindsay Flynn, Ward 9. We have Representative Councilmember John Oakes in the back there from Ward 3. If any more show up, I'll make sure we point them out. But so on behalf of the municipal council, the staff of the municipality of Bethel Park welcome you to our first ever coffee and conversation. So little introductions here, just kind of want to go around the room here. In the back, I think everybody in Bethel Park knows Dave Cable. Yes, he is ever present everywhere we go. Kind of starting from our right here and working our way back. We have our Director of Engineering, Stacy Graff. We have our planner, Ms. KP Prim. Emily, I mess your name up every single time, and I think I will do that for the next year. She is our Community Center Director and Assistant Recreation Department Director. She owns everything from this building, from the parking lot, all the way down to the future area for the splash pad. Our Director of Special Projects and IT, Drew Dowdell. If you've seen anything on our website, which he'll talk about in any of the social media and updates that we're doing, that's that gentleman right there. Our newest, latest, greatest farmers market, soon-to-be special coordinator, Lindsay Seibert. I didn't mess that one up. So she handled, if you notice our not world famous, but soon-to-be world famous farmers market, it's all because of that young lady right there. So we appreciate it. In the back there, we got Adam, who is the master planner and handled this entire setup right here, put it all together. So we just kind of wanted to do little introductions, and right over here, you sneaked out on me. Our recreation director, Chuck Stover. What we're trying to do, it's just a very informal. We kind of wanted to talk about a few things and just have a conversation, answer some questions, make it very light. The next one we're going to look at doing is at Judy's Java Joint. We're not quite sure whether 7:30 is going to work or we'll do like an 11:30, maybe have a conversation and some coffee there. But what we're trying to do is we're going to frequent some establishments around Bethel Park and get some interest there. And if you haven't been to Reginald's or Judy's or thing, come in and have a conversation. As you notice, there's a bunch of handouts in the back there. One of them talks about the projects that we've been doing over the last several months. This rolling marquee has been a lot of the projects that we've been doing over the last 18, 24, 36 months. So you might notice a lot of the parks that have been updated. Dave is just a master of that drone, let me tell you. Yeah, so he is really killing it. You'll see him in this frame right here. So he's right there. Hello, Dave. So he is really getting good with that one. But it also does two things. One, it showcases Bethel Park in a way I don't think any of us have ever seen. The canopy that Bethel Park provides, the tree canopy, is absolutely amazing. It shows you that we are really a beautiful community. We have a lush tree canopy. We have a lush areas that really haven't even seen yet on a scale we haven't seen. And two, it provides an ability to, I don't want to say market, but brand Bethel in a way we haven't been able to do so. Dave, we thank you for all the hard work. I mean, the amount of hours he went through to get the FAA 107 drone license, hours and hours and hours, you won't even imagine. But so he is doing an amazing job always, so we appreciate that one. Some of the things that I kind of wanted to, I'll pass it over for some of the staff, just to kind of sit down, talk about a few things. I'll pass it off to Stacy real quick. We'll talk about a few projects. We are going to talk about a little bit of splash pad. And a few other areas, and so as the staff come up and just start talking.
Hi everyone, I'm Stacy, as Lawrence says. I'm the Director of Engineering. My team and I, there's 12 of us on the team now. We're responsible for all the infrastructure improvement projects within Bethel Park. So a lot of the things that we do are fix the roads, the sewers, flood control projects. That stuff is underground, mainly you don't see it. So the exciting thing we do is parks. We have a rolling screen here showing before and after pictures. Happy to talk through any of the projects that you want, but here in 2022, we're focusing on two projects this year, finishing Millennium Park and Pine Tree Park. So Millennium's rolling on the screen right now. This project took some coordination and goes back to 2017. Village Green, which is over by Best Buy off of Oxford Drive, was a baseball field. That field was converted into a turf, lacrosse, and soccer field. We added this nice walking path around the exterior of that park so that while kids were playing, parents could get some exercise. So once that project was complete, the all-purpose field at Millennium Park is now a baseball field. As these pictures come through, you'll see it's turf. It's been 2 years, unfortunately, with COVID and construction delays. It's taken longer than we anticipated, but kids are playing on the turf field today, so that's an improvement. The park playground has also been updated. Something that we started 2 or 3 years ago was the staff meets with various playground representatives. We give them what we think, hey, here's an open canvas, do what you want. They come back with their proposals. We take those proposals to the public, the people who live in the area of those parks, and they actually get to pick which playground goes in. So Oak Tree, Birch Tree, Miners, and Millennium were all chosen by the residents of the area of those parks. Pine Tree Park is what we call a neighborhood park. I don't know if anybody even knows where it is. It's off of Horning Road on N Street. It's tucked in between all the little houses. That park is going to get a new playground. That one is very outdated and old. The residents have been asking for some time for an improvement there. The area does receive a lot of water. It's very swampy, so we're going to do some drainage work there, and we're installing a new sidewalk that will go all the way up to the pavilion. Right now, the sidewalk stops about halfway through the park. We have a bunch of other neighborhood parks. They're all featured on our website, so if you have kids or grandkids, I encourage you to visit them. So KP actually started as a grant writer for Bethel Park back in October, but she was promoted to planner and we hired a new grant writer. We've been doing grants in Bethel Park forever. It's something that we believe is a benefit to the municipality. So every project that we do, we are always looking for free money. This is Oak Tree Park and Birch Tree Park were done as a package. We did stormwater management on both of these projects. So we look for various kinds of grants, not only playground or trail, but we're looking for water grants too. As they roll through, I can talk about each one, but under this whole area here where this dugout pit is a big tank. It collects the water from the neighborhoods, puts it into a tank underground, and then releases it back into the system. Our grants for this project were, I think they're like DCD trails and playground grants. We just finished a project in Lindsay's ward, which was a flood control project on Thunderwood Drive. We got a water grant called a H2O grant. KP is going to tell us about a splash pad soon that received almost $1 million grant between 2 separate grants, but we're always looking to try to supplement our costs with grants to keep the cost to the municipality down. So.
Any thoughts on a dog park?
A dog park, we don't really have the room for a dog park in Bethel Park, so right now we're just recommending people go to South Park for the one that's there. Dog parks unfortunately take a lot of acres to be functional. Our next 2 projects that we're going to, park projects next year, we're going to look at Molly Hill and Elm Tree Park. Those are neighborhood parks as well. If you've been to them, they're great for sled riding, but they're difficult. So we have some great ideas. We've applied for some grants for things in the sky or chutes and ladders type options at those parks. Any other questions for me? Okay, so next we have Chuck, who's going to talk about some recreation stuff. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Our next round of programs will start late August, early September. So we have some great classes coming up. Of course, we have the kids and adults swim lessons, both private and group lessons, starting skill testing is August 27th. We have a couple relaxation classes coming up. Everyone needs to relax and get away with stress. We have Qigong and Tai Chi coming up, and they start September 12th and 14th. So I hope people come out and enjoy that. Our adult fitness classes, Zumba, Total Body, Boot Camp, and Zumba Senior starts September 12th. So come on, they're all at the community center. Flag football will be this year, start September 11th up at the turf fields at the high school on Sunday nights. So kids will have a good time. Basketball signups will start August, and parents, we're looking for basketball coaches, so when you sign up the coach too. And the community center is available for rentals too. We have 5 great rooms to rent. They fit from 25 all the way up to 300 people, depending on the room. And we're looking forward to hearing back from the residents. We're going to start some surveys to see what the residents want, so we get to know you better and we can deliver better programs and better quality. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I am KP. It's Kirsten Prim, but I go by my initials because KP is easier to spell and remember. I want to apologize for my voice. If you put me in any setting where I can sing as loud as I possibly can, I always will. So that's why I sound like this today. I was just singing my little heart out. I'm here to talk about the Splash Pad project. I know a lot of people are getting very excited about this, and I know it's been talked about for quite some time. The Splash Pad project is going to be here on Park Avenue by the community center, kind of tucked back in where that field is right now. We do have some funding that we've received through the RACP program, through the Office of the Budget, the PA Office of the Budget, and the Gaming and Economic Development Grant Program through Allegheny County. In addition to that, a lot of things are still preliminary. We are waiting on some of those funds to come in, those contracts. So we are, doing a little fundraising. I'm sure some of you have already heard from me, knocking on your door saying, hey, you own a business, do you want to donate anything? Or maybe you see something on social media. There are flyers in the back if you're interested about, what type of fundraising specifically we're doing if you are interested in donating. But some of those fundraisers are going to be kicked off here in the next week or two. One of them is a mystery treasure chest. We will be selling raffle tickets to a mystery treasure chest that is valued at a certain amount. I had initially intended it to be $1,000 value, so the winner would win that whole, treasure chest. Right now, we have it up to $3,000. So I don't know if we're going to do multiple treasure chests yet or just keep one big treasure chest at $3,000 because, who wouldn't want to win something of that value? We also have a Rev 'em Up raffle at the Rev 'em Up car cruise in September. Just going to do raffle baskets donated from local businesses. We already have some coming in and they're very cool. If I weren't the one organizing this, I would absolutely be buying tickets to that because love winning all of that stuff. And then we also have a community scavenger hunt that is still kind of in the works organizing, but we will be kicking that off at Community Day. And it's really going to involve, our local businesses, some tasks, some trivia questions that, revolve around our awesome community and get, you in parts of the community you might not visit a lot, maybe some neighborhood parks, maybe, you're not at the library enough, so we're going to have something at the library. So just be on the lookout for that. It'll be really exciting. I'm super excited to be part of it. So if anyone has any questions, I'm, happy to, yeah.
What's the plans for parking at that spot?
So we will have a parking lot. That is part of, the preliminary design and that funding. There will be, a whole entrance and parking lot design with that, so.
It's gonna be popular, and it's gonna be kids running around. You're right next to a very busy road.
So we've talked about that, and it is a concern. We have talked to Shim about leasing their parking lot across the street so that.
Still crossing that road. It's not
Right,
good.
so we're going to put new crosswalk in up at Park Avenue. We've been working with PennDOT to get that approval. And then we have visions of maybe, who knows what could happen in this area, a parking garage on that lower area, or as these houses would sell or businesses sell, maybe the municipality looks at buying them. We know it's going to be an issue, but I think splash pad is something that's a benefit to the community, so.
Anything else? All right.
Once the splash pad is finished, is there gonna be a charge?
There will be. That's a wonderful question. I don't think we have established what the price would be yet. It will also be rentable for private parties, which actually the scavenger hunt, that fundraiser that we're doing, first place is a free private party at the splash pad once it is open, and second place is a free week pass for the splash pad. So we jazz hands, big prizes. So like I said, we haven't determined the price yet or anything, but it will be, I think it's a scan code, you can scan the pass to enter.
We've also, back to your question, been doing research, like Pine Township in the North Hills has a splash pad similar. And something that they do is there's different sessions you can come to. So it's like a 10 o'clock to noon session and then 1 to 3. So that maybe in the morning, the younger kids who are up early and ready to go are at the splash pad. So it's more of the toddler age. And then they go home and take their naps, and then the older kids come in the afternoon. So we're trying to think of ways that parking will not be the issue.
It's gonna be fenced in, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Will there be a guard there?
A lifeguard, no.
An attendant?
There will be an attendant to scan you in, yes.
Is it gonna be adults only time?
I wish.
Talk to your manager about that.
Part of the prerequisite for playing.
Are the porta johns going to be replaced with a brick and mortar structure?
Yes, so there will be a large building on site, and that will have, unisex bathrooms, multiple on the lower level, I believe 2 up top, that will be accessible from the existing multi-purpose field. So there will be both below and above toilets, not porta-johns, actual running, working toilets. Very excited about that. Anything else? Awesome. Well, thank you, guys.
Good morning, everybody. I am Drew Dowdell. I'm the Director of Special Projects, and what does that mean? It's the first line of my job description says, other duties as assigned. So I tend to straddle both the IT realm and the communications realm, and sometimes some other oddball things that pop up from time to time. But what I'm here to talk to you about is the website and our social media outreach. Over the last year, we've done a substantial website rebuild. It's been interesting because we've had to keep the website running the entire time while we were doing that. So a lot of times I've been having to build a new page and kind of slip it in while you weren't looking, and redesign the look and feel of the website. If you haven't been on the website recently, Dave has provided some fantastic shots of video shots of the municipality. So when you first bring the page up, you'll see some wonderful beauty shots that come up. Some other improvements that we've made to the page recently are a road alerter system. So there's now a little ticker that circulates through any construction alerts that we come across. Some of them are our own projects, but a lot of times we're simply informed by PennDOT or Duquesne Light or one of the utilities that they're going to be doing construction on a road. We don't have control over those particular projects, but we want to alert everybody about it, so it goes up there. And if it's a high enough, a large enough project, it will actually also go out onto Facebook and Twitter as well. So we're trying to keep things up to date there. In addition to that, we have created a fairly substantial social media outreach. All of these projects that KP and Stacy and Chuck are doing, if we just put them there and nobody hears about them, what good is it? Because we have to communicate to you. So between myself and the communications team, we've been pushing social media very strongly to try and improve our reach. In the back, there are these cards which list all of, actually not even all of, I noticed one that, last night that I missed, list all of our social media accounts. These are run by various departments, some of them in our communications department. The library is on here, the police department is on here, the farmers market is on here. All of these different ways to get news and information about what is going on in the municipality. And then LinkedIn is also on here, so if you're looking for a position inside of the municipality, you can look on there as well. The easiest way to sign up for all of these, rather than typing them all in manually, is to flip over to the back and scan the QR code with your camera's app. It will take you to a page that has all of these listed, and you can click on the ones that you're interested in and go in and follow them. We also have a subscriptions page where you can sign up for various email subscriptions, things like the farmers market. We're now doing e-delivery of the Chronicles newspaper. And if you haven't signed up for that yet, the next Chronicles is coming out very, very soon, so you can actually get it in your email box before you get it into your mailbox and browse it ahead of time that way. The police are also producing Crime Watch newsletters and sending them out through there, so if you're interested in what the police are doing, you can sign up to a newsletter from there. We're also doing things like if Allegheny County issues an ozone alert, we're going to be starting to push those out onto social media and our website. And then when it comes down to for election season, we'll also be doing election alerts. We started doing that during COVID because a number of the voting locations were changing due to COVID reasons. So we started pushing that information out on our website and on social media. Then it's something we're going to just continue to do, keep people aware of important dates for last day to register, last day to get an absentee ballot. We'll be pushing that stuff out there. And then the very last thing, and certainly not the least, is if you go to bethelpark.net/alerts, you can sign up for our emergency alert system called SwiftReach. You can get a phone call or a text message or an email in case there's some sort of an emergency that we need to get out to the public. Any questions so far? I just want to point out that Lindsay with the farmers market she's fairly new to the municipality, but she has taken the farmers market social media and email list and grown it substantially. We found an old email list kind of hanging around that wasn't being used for the farmers market. It started at just under 800 people, and she's grown it to over 1,200 people now. So she produces a email every week, gives out the list of vendors, and we've had a very, very great response with that.
Make sure you vote.
Yes.
That's what it is.
The voting's over.
Okay. Thank you.
So a couple of things I want to tie in real quick. I forgot to welcome our council member from Ward 1, Joe Councilmagno, in the back there. He slipped in. And also, what you don't see on the computer right there is our Director of Public Relations, Kim Waitman. She has been, she moved to Texas over 2 years ago and has been working on the Chronicles. So you get that Chronicles in your mail. It is done by that wonderful lady who's remote right now and has been for well over 2 years. She handles all the different inputs from the different staff members, the library, the school district, the police department, everywhere, puts it into a fantastic form, gets it to the printer, QA, quality controls it, and then make sure it gets distributed to all of our 12,000 homes across Bethel Park. So she does that one from a remote capacity, and she just kills on a daily basis. So hi, Kim. Thank you so much for what you do. What we're trying to do, like I said, I think to wrap it up, what we're trying to do here really is just like an informal get-together. We're going to keep doing this one about once a quarter. Bring in, ask those questions. We're not dodging questions. We'll give you the answers that we do have. I know it may not be what you were looking for right now, But as we get more information, we'll continue to answer and we'll continue to evolve and we'll make sure that we keep having these types of conversations. So bring those hard questions. We're not against it answering them. So, sir, yes, go ahead.
Well, I have one more question, I guess. I've heard of some concerns with space, we're kind of out of it. Have there been any conversations with the school district about acquiring any of those properties? And kind of two questions there. Backfilling some of the loss of gym space, field space. I think there's going to be a pretty big void that I guess kind of what's the plan looking forward to filling that void?
There's not an official answer right now, but we are in communications with the school district. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have lunch with the superintendent in about 4 hours. We have talked about that one in the past, about multiple locations. And so those are kind of things we're looking at, the loss of gym space. We're looking at with the consolidation of the K-5 into one location in several years after the major construction. We are looking at that available space to use. How can we partner with the school district for some of those areas for a certain number of things? So we're still in preliminary talks with all those things. So it is premature to talk about it, but yes, we are looking at it. We're trying to look 3, 5, 10, 15 years down the road. Because I think to not do that one is to not do proper justice and proper planning. So great question, and thank you. We are absolutely looking at that one. The school district and municipality are working hand to hand on everything to try and address those. Yeah. Sir.
I'm assuming that everyone in this room walks in the parks, in Bethel Park. If they see a bottle or trash, they'll stop and pick it up. And if they don't, they'll report it to somebody who will pick it up. The question I have is, I often walk with my dog in Bethel Park, in that park. Sometimes I'm happy with no litter. Sometimes I find it appalling that it's not picked up in a reasonable amount of time. Other thing is weeding the flower beds. Who's responsible for that? Simmons Park in the spring was overgrown with weeds. So I don't know who takes care of that. And I have a pet peeve about poison ivy. Does anybody recognize poison ivy, and are steps taken to eliminate it on the trail in Millennium Park? And the last time I think I reported poison ivy at the play area in Millennium Park. Does anybody recognize poison ivy and think it's a problem other than myself?
Yes, to answer your question across, and make sure I don't miss anything. Our Public Works Department has 18 driver laborers that handle all of the parks and common areas across Bethel Park. So yes, they're the ones tasked with the responsibility of weeding all the flower beds, all the areas, maintaining, groundskeeping, playground, fields, common areas, like I said, trails. There's also, I think, in excess of 20 some odd trails that they're required to maintain, update, mowed, weed, things of that nature. Traffic islands. There's, I think everybody knows, there's about 136 miles of road, and that's one way. So when you double that one, then we're talking like 260 plus miles that the road department is maintained or is required to maintain. So we do that one. We have trained people that do recognize all the different varieties of poison oak, poison ivy, poison sumac. I think the most recent one, there was a hemlock. There it is, poison hemlock. And they were out there doing, so they were pointing it out to both the Director of Public Works and the Assistant Director of Public Works. Like I said, we can't be, with our email conversations we've had numerous times, Mr. Chong, we can't be everywhere, and so we appreciate those eyes and ears. That helps us see what it is. And with the huge amount of area that our Public Works is responsible to maintain, we get out there as soon as we can. I don't like trash. On my way into the building every single day, and I walk in with a handful of trash. It happens. It blows out of people's cars. But we as a staff, we as a community are working toward that. If you see it, pick it up. If you see it, address it. Don't pass by something, because then you just lowered the standard. You just created a new standard, and that's what we're trying to inculcate in both our staff, and maybe that can kind of bleed out to those who just, almost like it's nose blind. You don't recognize a piece of trash in the ground, so somebody, hey, oh, that's right. You walk right past it because you don't even see it anymore. And we got to get better at that one. So you're right. We're responsibility. So the buck stops with us. In reality, it stops with me. I'm responsible for everything that happens or fails to happen. The council will make sure they hold me responsible for that, and I accept that fully. So we need to get better. So I agree with you. I hate trash. I think it just lowers the standards of our community. So we need to get better about that one. So.
One last comment. Park Avenue, right outside the building, the embankment looking down the field, are they all invasive plants, invasive vegetation?
I wouldn't call them invasive, but there are some out there. Saw some hemlock out there, and I was talking with, it was you before you got here. I was talking with Chuck about getting Steve out there, and he routinely gets out there and sprays, and he gets out there and weeds. It's not all invasive, but it does grow like you wouldn't believe. I think you can agree with me on that one. That just grows to 6 foot right out there, just hacking it
We're
down.
emphasizing here, apparently, the grass on the field is cut almost daily from what I can see.
Twice a week.
Can that be scheduled on the hillside to cut that?
Yes.
More frequently?
We are working on that one to get that built into the schedule. We're working with the director. Emily's going to work with the Director of Public Works to work that into the schedule to get a little more routine things for both Park Avenue and some of the other fields in some of the areas. Because like I said, there's 14 parks in Bethel Park. It's kind of in our name. So we will look at those, and we're responsible for maintaining all of them. And then with only 18 people, 14 parks, you're not going to get the good ratio for a week. So we surge on areas where we know we can too, and we don't get it all, but we're trying our best to make sure we get them all in the right number, in right order, and the right frequency. But we have work to be done. We have areas to get better on. So I agree.
A bit of trivia. Has the spotted lanternfly been seen in Bethel Park?
I wouldn't know the answer to that question. I would have to probably grab an update from the county health department to see if that's been reported, but we haven't seen it. And
They found it in South Park, the park itself. So.
okay, I'll reach out to the health department to find out see if they have an updated map of the spotted lanternfly and see what the locations that they've been seen. So yeah, we're grabbing a note for that one. Do you have any other questions or comments? Are there things that we could have done better for this? Is there topics that you want to hear about? There are things that the whole purpose of doing something is to truly get better each and every time you do it. What are the topics that you want to hear? Sorry.
Deer management.
That is,
working on that problem?
yes, the council just reviewed the deer management protocols. Took some steps to look at that one, to review it with another outside agency. It's a very long permitting process. So council just authorized an outside agency to go before the state to get the permitting process to start that whole deer management, in addition to the deer management system we already do, but an enhanced one starting after the first of the year. So we recognize that one, and we are a part of the co-op for the South Hills Animal Control. So that's several communities all together with this co-op. And we have the most deer removed carcasses because of accidents of any community in the South Hills. And councils recognize that one. They're taking actions to address that one. We know it's a problem.
Does the Bureau keep statistics on the number of automobile accidents with deer?
We do not, yes and no. If it's reported, we track it. I know in 2021, there were 167 deer carcasses removed, either by vehicular accident or some way, shape, or form. So that's 167 incidents across Bethel Park. Not all of them auto accidents, but those were things that we had to call out there. It could be sick, it could be or lame, could have whatever variety of reasons. So those are statistics we do keep, and only if we know it's a accident does that get reported to the police. So yes, council is completely aware of that situation, and they're taking actions and steps to address it. So, what are the questions, or what can we get better at? What topics do you want to talk about next time we do it? Because I think we're scheduled, I believe, at Judy's. Adam, what day and time is that one?
It is 11 a.m., October 26th.
October 26th, 11 a.m. over at Judy's Java. We'll put a Facebook, event out there and ask everybody if you want to RSVP, so we get an idea of who's going to be there. So that will help us understand how, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to overrun Judy's and have nobody else be able to get in there. So that's not a good thing. We're trying to be good neighbors on that. But if there are specific topics you want to talk about?
One last comment from me, erosion control. Park Avenue, by the upper level going down, you're having a problem there, and in the Lydian Park on the trail going back in there, erosion control.
Spotted lanternfly and erosion control. Thank you for the topics. I appreciate that one. I'll reach out to you personally and see and get you an update for some of those stuff. But I think that's it. You had a great comment to me about just a few months ago, and I'll share it with the group here. It was an ability to have the community look at litter differently. Whether that's a campaign you do, whether it's signs, whether it's things you just kind of, something you post on the side of the road or parks, whatever. If you see it, pick it up. I think that was one of the comments you made. If you see it, pick it up. Dispose of it properly. And a lot of times people don't even recognize that there's something they're walking by, and maybe a sign just reminds them to do such. So that's something we're looking at. I'm glad Susie Dolinar, Director of Public Works, and her assistant, Tom Miller, and we're kind of, how could we potentially do that? And I was going to loop in Drew because he's a very creative and, came off in the background. You can see her so creative, so creative. I can't even tell you how creative the team is. It's amazing, but something we're thinking about. Any other topics that we want to think about?
How about,
I was going to say road improvement plans. I've heard rumors of, roundabouts, new construction, new plans. Could there be a focus on, not next meeting, I can't make that one, so the one after. Or whatever.
Yeah, I think on our schedule, the road improvement topic was on December?
That is actually the one you'd be able to make. That's February 1st.
February 1st. So that's what we're going to look at, like some areas for improvement. I mean, by then I think Stacy's team will be ready to unveil the potential 23, road here. Here's where we're going to pave different things. Here's some of the focal points. One of the things that council has directed the staff to do, and Stacy's been killing it for the last 3, 4, 5 years on this one, is we have springs. They're everywhere. They come out of the yards, the woodwork, and everything like that. So what they've kind of directed the staff to do is we have to take that water, because it's coming out of people's yards and it's going onto our roads and it's undermining our roads. So how do we address it? So some type of system on the sides of the roads, and I think everybody's passed down Irishtown right now, and that spring that comes out of the side of the road there, taking it, getting it, putting it into the storm system so it doesn't undermine our road. And we've done that one on 2 dozen?
Since 2018, we've installed over 5,000 feet of new pipe.
Yeah. Well, what you didn't hear was since 2018, the team over there at engineering has installed 5,000 feet of pipe to catch the storm water or catch the spring water and get it into our storm system and get it off the roads. So that's one of those things that just helps us continuously. Sir?
For 3 years, they've been working on South Pennsylvania between the water company tearing it up and then resurfacing tearing it up, okay? Well, the water company repaired the grass aside of the road real good, but when they repaved, they didn't repair this grass at all. They might have threw dirt on it, it was all weeds, and it was horrible, it's still horrible. So all along South Pennsylvania and California, the berm of the road is just a mess. And it's like they sowed weeds instead of grass,
One of the things that the staff has learned based off this type of feedback is when we do our road program, Stacy split apart the contracts. And the last part of the contract is the remediation contract. And we bid that out to landscape companies. So when we do the paving, they come in and do a great job, but they're not good landscapers, to exactly your point. So from our road program, we bring in a landscaper, puts in the correct fill, puts in the right seed, comes by and tries to get a good base for that that grass to grow back. I think you shared that one with the various utility companies, and they're not as open and amenable to some of our
Water
suggestions.
company did great.
Yeah.
The borough didn't. I mean,
That wasn't we didn't do that.
you did the road,
Which road?
South Pennsylvania, repaved South
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
That was the water company that did that.
They had a sub do it for the water company. We did not.
Now, there's two separate ones here. The water company repaired their part, and they filled in the dirt and everything, and they did good. But then right after the water company, you guys came in and repaved the road. And it's not good.
Okay, well, we'll get that one addressed. We'll take a look at that one today.
I just threw mulch yesterday it was all this dirt, dust, no grass.
Any other topics, conversations? Sure.
Hi, my name is Mike Miller. I'm the HOA president for Sunnybrook Court. And right now, all the residents on my street are kind of concerned about the apartment building that's down there. I don't want to bring that up, but the new thing after that would probably be the splash pad. So the splash pad, where exactly will that be against our property? Like how close to our property will that be?
Guys want to come up and probably do a good explanation?
Sure. So it's right over, it's down here, sorry. So where that big field is and that
Yeah.
smaller,
Yeah.
ball field, it's
Yeah.
where that smaller ball field's going to be.
So that ball field will be removed then?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I do have concerns about parking, but it is a seasonal thing though too. Like
Correct.
I assume it's gonna be what, from like June, like
It would be
June?
like how a swimming pool is, like Memorial Day to Labor
Yeah,
Day.
so like, there'll be a little bit of a summer surge, so I'm not overly concerned about it. I think at first it will be. The other thing though that I'm concerned about is, what's the division between that is there gonna be a fence there or something between that?
The entire splash pad will have fencing,
Okay.
security fencing on the
Yeah.
back end. will
So
be
the
significant
security
there.
fencing that's between the field and us, the netting, has been, I've lived in Bethel Park now 7 years. Like, I don't think it's ever that netting that's above that security fence that you have there now, I don't think it's ever been replaced. So it's probably due to be replaced. There's like, so that the soccer balls don't go over and hit our roofs. I mean, so it needs weed there too, probably a little bit too on your side. So. And then the drainage, like that's more concrete. Like you're taking out green and putting more concrete. That's going to be addressed too, hopefully.
Yes, so obviously stormwater is a hot
Yeah.
topic down here. So we will have some underground tanks to collect that. And I know we were looking into reusing that water too. I don't know if that's doable, but it will be all
And then the
addressed.
field, there was talk at some point of that field being converted into AstroTurf. Is that?
That will be an upcoming grant application. That is still a priority project, so that will still be.
So that's also going to affect the drainage up there too, right?
That will stormwater will be a part of all of that, but all of this.
Because we have a natural spring on our street, that's why we have to constantly repave it. So it costs the association a lot of money because we are a private road. I would ask you to please consider that heavily when, I am concerned about the AstroTurf probably more than the splash pad, because the tanks, like if you're recycling the water, if it's a closed system, it shouldn't be a problem, I would think. So.
Like I said, stormwater is always a big component in any project we do, so that will always be taken into consideration.
But as far as like, if we could get those nets, like they're just sagging down, that's all. They might need to be replaced too, but I think if you just had someone go up there and spread them out a little bit, and they would look nicer too.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
We'll go over there today.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, good, thank you for the comment, I
Yeah.
appreciate that feedback. So, yes ma'am.
Do
Do you have a projected day or time when you're gonna open the splash pad? That's a great question.
It's funny you should ask that one. We're waiting right now. We confirmed that the bid documents are prepared. We are what we used to call in the Army, we are standing in the door, waiting to exit the aircraft. We are waiting on the state to provide us some type of confirmation that the grant has been approved. Our application, which was, to say the least, voluminous, 80 plus pages and subsequent supplements in order to get the money. So we won't move forward with bidding out the project until we get confirmation from the Office of the Budget that Bethel Park has in fact received the money, and we can move forward with that process. So we're prepared. We're in waiting mode for confirmation from the state. So council has given us the thumbs up. Once we get that one, we'll bring it back before council, and then we'll vote to what direction we're going to go. So, great question. Now, I think that's on the tips of everybody's tongue right now, trying to figure out when we're going to start that.
It's me again. I got a text message from Kim asking me to remind everybody of our Park and Play program. We have 2 flyers in the back for 2 more of the programs that are happening the rest of this year. And then, of course, if you are following on social media, you will hear about it again that way. But we have a concert in Millennium Park with No Bad Juju that was rescheduled from earlier this summer. And we have an end of summer bash as well. But please take advantage of those, and you can go see No Bad Juju and think about the splash pad.
Nice. Is there any last comments? Yes, ma'am.
Where the new housing plan was, right off of Bethel Church Road, behind the American Legion.
Yes.
The person who owns the home directly behind the American Legion has put a very nice white fence up. Now there is between the guardrail and the road and the fence, there's this line that looks absolutely horrible of weeds just growing up. Who is responsible for that?
We will get someone over there today.
Yeah.
Okay. Today. Eyes and ears across Bethel. This helps us see ourselves because.
Well, I don't know if any of you have been down there. I live on North Lakewood. When you turn the first new home, if anybody would check out, they have like the most awesome patio, porch, whatever. I'm a city girl. You want to put, and I want to tell the girl living there, you're going to cause more accidents because everybody's out. You got to check out whoever did it. It's really, really nice. It's not like being elaborate, but we always have a big 4th of July bash, and everybody coming to our house was saying that porch up there is awesome. But and it's taken in a way because they're $300,000, $400,000 homes, and looking over to them, you have all this weeds growing up.
Yeah, that type of feedback helps us, and then we can direct appropriately. So thank you for that one. If you want to send us help and reminders on our website, it has report a problem, ask a question. There's different violations. It just helps us see ourselves more because the entire code enforcement department is only 3 people. One of them is the commercial building inspector, the other one is the residential building inspector, and the third one is the actual code enforcement officer. So there's only one guy driving around Bethel trying to make sure the code is taken care of, while Robert is our commercial. He's handling all the commercial inspections every day. He's out there making sure that McDonald's is up to code, different things, because they'll try to get ahead. He wants to make sure that our residents are safe in those buildings to make sure that's done correctly. Vince is out there, 12,000 homes. Vince Kelly is everywhere on Bethel Park, so he is there to help everybody. And David, I think he hits several hundred miles every week driving up and down the streets and making sure that we're in accordance with the International Property Maintenance Code and Bethel Park Ordinance. So those are important things but the department is small, we need help. And whatever help we can get, we're so grateful for. So, questions, comments? If you want to stick around and talk to individual staff, help us get a little better. I mean, like I said, very informal. What we're just trying to do is get out there, and I'm sure hopefully we can make the next one better. Please get some more food. We got some bagels back there. We got coffee. We got handouts. So thank you so much for everybody. So, full force to come. Please stick around.